What is going on? What is going on? We are back and black in the motherfucking building. God damn, I gotta go to the gym. Look like I got titties. God damn. But anyway, man, I gotta go to the gym. God damn. Shit, bitch gonna be asking me, who could I? Damn, God damn. But anyway, shout out to everybody out there at the Core Plantation making it do what you need to do to survive. Shout out to everybody out there that's handling business. If you were at the Core Plantation or you went to Core Plantation today, much power, respect to you. We got a lot of shit to discuss, but you already know what I'm gonna do. And for all you women out there, shout out to 066. But I had to do this for my nigga. I ain't did it in a while. For all you women that's out there that's selling your pussy hole on Amazon or eBay or Wayfair, that's just what I need, or OfferUp. What's the other platforms? PayPal. Let's see. Cash App, Venmo. If you are selling that pussy hole, we need to have an auction. And the first thing we need to do when we do this auction is we have to base it off the Carfax of that pussy hole. So if you got over 100,000 miles on that pussy hole and you need your transmission dropped, we gonna start that bid off at $25. Let me get $25. Yeah. Yes. Sold to the next sucker ass nigga. I thought I had to do that shit, but man, shout out to everybody out there at the Core Plantation. If you're cooning and samboing and can't wait to tell on somebody, I can't fuck with you, man. And, you know, and if when you're around the dominant society, always be introverted. Let them do all the talking, and if you talk, keep it on the job. Don't ever sway away from the job, because a lot of the dominant society, they get to talking about all their personal business. I don't be wanting to hear none of that shit. Then you all of a sudden you turn into a therapist. Let me tell you something. We're gonna get into a lot of shit today. We're gonna talk about this black brother. I don't know, I forgot his name, but this dude his last name is Triplet, and he was a septic tank builder, and I think in Oklahoma. And he had this brother work on it, but he treated the brother like shit. And see, we're a gluttony for punishment. We think that's all we can get. Well, he didn't like the brother, and he couldn't stand the brother. He killed the brother and dumped him in the septic tank. So we gonna talk about that shit today. We're gonna talk about all that shit, man, because these are the things that we need to be discussing and talking about. And let me tell you something, man. Don't ever think that these people are your friends, because these people are not your friends at all. And I'm trying to find some video on it before we get into the subject, because I kind of want to get to it right away. But we're going to get into it. Shout out to everybody. Shawnee in the building. Philly in the building, stand up. Erica, Florida in the building, stand up. 066, you already know what it is. Tasha. I got a message. I tried to reply on YouTube, but YouTube be tripping. My sister was like, yeah, never let me know when you go live. Y'all already know they be shadow banning the niggas, so it's all good. But anyway, man, shout out to Tasha. Mariah, you already know what it is. Tommy, shit, you already know what it is, man. You know what it ain't, you know what it is, man. We about to get into it right now. Let me cut this clown ass shit down. We about to get into it, man. For real. Yeah, man. A lot has been going on, man. A lot of shit I've been seeing. And I've been looking, because I'm trying to find the video. Let's see. I don't think, nah, that ain't the motherfucking video. Nah, fuck that. Let me see. Yeah, nah, that ain't the video. See, I want to watch the actual news footage of this, so they can talk about what the fuck this man did. Hold on, I might have to see if I can find it on YouTube, because you know YouTube's like the only place you can find it. But yeah, man, I want everybody to hear this shit, because it's so funny. This man, you know, and we are gluttony for punishment. We will allow the dominant society to treat us like shit at these Core Plantation jobs, and we won't say anything until we're pushed. Like my brother, shout out to that brother. I forgot that brother's name. Somebody gotta look it up for me. He worked at the Milwaukee. He was from Milwaukee, and he worked at the Coors Brewery in Milwaukee. And they kept putting nooses on his desk, and they kept writing nigga and doing all this nigga taunting and shit. So he just did it. OJ, he killed them all. So R.I.P. to that brother, and then he killed himself. R.I.P. to that brother, and made that brother go down in history, because that's what you do. See, after going to HR and going to HR, y'all don't do shit about it. See, because white people are investigating white people. That's why they don't ever do shit about it. It's just like the police department and law enforcement and FBI. Well, we're going to escalate this up to the FBI. They're going to take a look at it. That's white people investigating more white people. So nothing's going to change. Let me see if I can find this shit. We're gonna get into it right now because I want to play
You're
this
Carvana,
shit.
the company who invented carbon.
But I ain't, man, fuck a Carvana. Shit, fuck all them motherfuckers, man. But anyway, man, it's just very imperative I wanted to talk about this because look at the Core Plantation. And then the motherfucker kept lying to him. I was reading the article. The motherfucker kept lying to him, telling him, oh yeah, I'm gonna turn this car over to you and all this other bullshit. I'm gonna turn this job over to you. I'm gonna turn this is gonna be this is gonna be your job and all this other stuff. This is gonna be your company. And then he killed him. Dumped him in the damn septic tank and kept it moving like nothing ever even happened. So get the fuck out of here, man. Hold on. I'm about to play this right now. I'm sorry, man, but I gotta play this right now, man. For real. Cause this is what the fuck is going on. As they talk about black people or the violent people and all this bullshit, motherfuckers don't never want to talk about the dominant society, every other racial group, but they always want to talk about us. So hold on, let's get to it.
Was doing that he wasn't supposed to be doing. My dad was aware.
Cameras reportedly rolling as two men went in, but it appears one never came out.
He actually turned 51 in a hole.
Wow.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 10.
The body of a missing Guthrie father found buried beneath a septic tank 30 days after he vanished.
30 days. This is what they do. But y'all motherfuckers want to look at us like we the violent motherfuckers.
That man's boss now in custody for his murder. Tonight, the heartbroken family of Brent Mack react.
I hope Dan rots in hell.
Man, let's shout out to that sister right there. Shout out to that sister. Man, fuck all that. Oh, well, I hope he heals, because we just need to heal. Man, fuck y'all niggas in that need to heal shit. No, you know what we need to heal? Give us reparations and give us an eye for an eye. So how you know how he needs to heal? The death penalty. That's how he needs to heal, man. Fuck all this motherfucking. See, that's the problem with. That's why I be getting on these black Christians. With this, I remember one time I was at the church and it was like, "Oh, you're supposed to turn the other cheek," and I was like, "So if I slap you, you gonna turn the other cheek?" Oh, well, I may have lost my salvation that day. Exactly. So don't be fucking coming over here slapping me, cause you're gonna get slapped back, motherfucker.
You will pay.
Hold on, let's rewind this.
For his murder. Tonight, the heartbroken family of Brent Mack react.
I hope Dan rots in hell. That's what I want to say.
You will pay the ultimate price.
News 4's Kaitor K picks up our story from there.
But he didn't like that nigga the whole time. See, it don't matter how hard you work for these folk. These folk don't like you. I know. I'm at the Core Plantation too. You better give them a bear. You better give them a C effort. Don't be in here trying to, I'm the first black director. I'm the first black manager. I'm the first black man. Who gives a fuck about the first black? Fuck them motherfuckers, man. Because that's how they gonna treat you no matter what. I'm gonna talk about how I was listening to Tariq Nasheed. He was on Twitter and he had this open discussion about reparations. All these white people was jumping in the conversation. Like, I just don't understand how you're gonna do it. Trying to come up with all these technicalities. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, y'all don't do that to the Native Americans and y'all don't question the motherfucking Jewish people, but you want to question how you gonna give it to us because they've never seen us as equal. And if y'all been around black people all this time and you've always been able to have the upper hand on them, why would you want them to be equal to you now? Because now if they're equal to you, you can't treat them like shit. And I feel, in my honest opinion, a lot of not just the dominant society people, honorary racist motherfuckers, honorary white supremacists, and white supremacists in training from other racial groups, they can't wait to get up and let us be the punching bag. Why do you think that a lot of those racial groups don't like Donald Trump? Because Donald Trump was talking about every racial group. That's why motherfuckers, we got to get together and want to give you a fist pump about Donald Trump. And I'll be looking at niggas like, Donald Trump ain't bothering me. I like overt racism. Tell me to my face. I don't like this. Good job, Tyrone. And then you close the door. Yeah, fucking nigger. Nah, man. I don't like that Judge Udine bullshit. You see, that bitch is not finna resign. So how you gonna preside over black people? You think the Jewish community would allow me to be the moral compass of what they do, and I'm around here calling them all kinds of Jew motherfuckers and all that? They'll be like, man, nah, this motherfucker got to go.
We understand Mack worked as a septic tank installer.
That's right. The family tells us Mack installed those septic tanks with his boss, Daniel Triplett, for a few years. But there.
So Mr. Mack did all the work while the white boy took all the credit. That's what happened.
Relationship was pretty rocky. Now that Triplett is the main suspect, the family is stunned, angry, and devastated.
This guy he killed somebody. He killed the wrong person, and he thought he was going to get away with it.
But this Oklahoma family hit the streets, posting 50-year-old Brent Mack's photos all over Guthrie, dedicated to finding their loved one, not knowing they'd end up finding his alleged killer instead. The father of 3 vanished 30 days ago. Last week, Guthrie police and OSBI suspecting foul play. Thursday, they alerted Mack's family that they had found his remains.
I got the news yesterday that they found his remains, and yeah, like I said, it hit me like a ton of bricks, but I thought I was ready to know, but when it hit me, it just hit me.
Mack's boss, 66-year-old...
66 Kenny Rogers looking motherfucker. See? We gotta be gentle giants around these motherfuckers. I'm reading this book. Shout out to the homegirl Erica. I'm reading this book called Grandmother's Hands. I'm still reading that book. I'm almost done with it. And it talks about how they view us as white body supremacy views black bodies as strong and need to be controlled. And we're defenseless around black bodies. Man, get the fuck out of here, man.
Triplett arrested as a suspect. Mack had been working for Triplett installing septic tanks.
He worked with Dan for roughly about 3 years, and kind of a love-hate situation, I would say.
Yeah, because he was a racist motherfucker, but the brother probably needed work. And see, this is why we need reparations, so we don't have to put up with this shit. And you got to be eating shit. Nah, man, look, I feel like this. Give us reparations. Give us our 30 trillion. Let's start from there, 30 or 40 trillion. Give every foundational black American. Look, with my last name, I know my motherfucking ass is foundational. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Because I already know trust me, I already know what the fuck my last name is. So I know I am indigenous to this landmass. So you might as well go ahead and peel me, nigga. I need the money. I need the yams. And then break us off, give everybody about 30, 40 million or 20 million a piece or whatever it add up to. And then you can open up the floodgates and let all these other racial groups be y'all slaves and do all that shit while we can just chill. You know what I'm saying? And it's so funny, man, because as I was looking into it, it was on Twitter. Like, they call it Spaces or something. And this one dude commented, was like, he basically was like, I'm for reparations. He was like, I think black people should get it. You know, they built this country, so why should they get it? He was like, and I'm tired of people always asking the question. One brother was like, I'm tired of people always asking the question of, oh, if we give y'all reparations, y'all just gonna spend on such and such. I'm like, don't nobody question the white Jewish community and what they spend their reparations on. Don't nobody ask the so-called Native Americans what they spend their money on. So why is it when it comes to black people, it's always, oh, well, they're gonna spend it? Because the United States of America Incorporated and the dominant society, they're not a confident group. Because if they were confident, you wouldn't hold all the cards. You would be so confident, you'd be like, well, fuck it. Y'all want reparations here? Y'all can have all this shit. These dumb motherfuckers gonna fuck it up anyway. But they know what is going on, because as time moves and progresses, guess what? People are becoming more awakening. Basically meaning this, motherfuckers is taking the red pill and not having a blue pill smoothie.
Source telling News 4, Mack's remains were found buried under a septic tank about 15 miles north of Guthrie. A nearby business also confirming to News 4 that they had surveillance video that helped in the investigation.
This nigga didn't even know he was on camera. Hey, what's going on, cuzzo? This nigga didn't even know he was on camera. Look, that's how both white people are. He probably told those motherfuckers, look, I'm gonna bury him in your shit. Don't even worry about it. If it falls back on me, it falls back on me. I bet you the work that he was doing, they knew what the fuck. You got camera surveillance. And these motherfuckers, see how everybody get on code? And these motherfuckers talking about, we only seen one. We saw 2 guys go back there and do the work, but we only see 1 person leaving. Man, what the fuck? And then you on the news watching somebody talking about, hey, man, we can't find this dude. I'd have been like, hey, man, y'all better come back here and look, because they didn't give a fuck, because the dominant society is always on code. That's a fact.
That video reportedly showing what appears to be 2 men arriving at the site to do some work, but it appears only 1 man left.
He actually turned 51 in a hole, so you imagine his kids, how they feel about that.
While OSBI continues to...
He turned 51 in a hole. So fuck Thomas Jefferson and all these motherfuckers. I'm talking about our forefathers. Fuck them motherfuckers is not my forefathers. And fuck Christopher Columbus and all these other bullshit motherfuckers too, man. The more you read, the more you be like, man. That's why I kind of took a break on a little history, because I'm about to read Race Baiter by Tariq Nasheed after I read My Grandmother's Hands. And then I'm going to go right back into history, because I got this book about the Merovingians. So I'm going to read that book. Then I'm going to go back into, I like history, man. So I like There's another book I got too. It's called it's about these boys that they were enslaved and they escaped, and I think they got caught. I forgot the name of the book, but it's on my library mantle thing. And I gotta go check it out too, because I'm just trying to, and I don't really like reading a lot of antebellum history, but it's very difficult, to read it because you get irritated. But the thing about reading antebellum slavery in the 1600s and the 1700s, you know exactly what we did. You know exactly what we did here in this country. See, that's the thing. I don't want to be around people that have more. And I'm not talking about just the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, all that. Yeah, that's good too. But we need to know what black folks endured here, not just one narrative of slavery. The people that got away, the people that bought their way out of freedom, the people like Henrietta Woods. That book is a very good book. This is the book right here, man. I tell people all the time, man, go get this book too. A Sweet Taste of Liberty. This is the untold story of Henrietta Woods. And I read another book called Never Caught by Una Judge. It's the untold story of Una Judge. These are very, very good books and knowledge that you should have. That lady got caught, escaped freedom, got caught. Then when she escaped, she sued motherfucking the government. Like, y'all niggas owe me restitution. Y'all owe me reparations, man, because this motherfucker took away my youth and took away everything. And then, of course, the motherfucker that had her enslaved, I forgot, I'm blanking on the brother's name. But that motherfucker, of course, he was a prison warden, so he's making all kinds of money and shit too. It's just all kinds of crooked shit that be going on, man. So we got to be aware of that shit. If you don't know history, you don't know where the fuck you going.
On the investigation, Mack's daughter, Rachel Wilson, feeling a range of strong emotions towards the man suspected of murdering her father.
I hope Dan rots in hell.
All while remembering the man her father was.
I'm very grateful for the time that I did get with my dad and that he did get to spend with my kids.
OSBI tells us they're continuing their investigation, and a medical examiner will need to positively identify Mack and determine his exact cause of death.
His cause of death is the system of racism and white supremacy. That's his cause of death. We don't need to look no further. We know what it is. That's it right there. I'm telling you, man, you be reading this shit and you looking at this shit. This is just stuff that people don't talk about, because that shit ain't on CNN. Or I'm reading The Awakening of Black Man. What's the author of that? Look, I'm gonna look that shit up right now, man. I read one book about the Merovingians. It's called The Hagiography of the Merovingians. And if you watch The Matrix, I'm a big Matrix buff. Shout out to Sophia Stewart, the queen mother of The Matrix. She wrote The Matrix and she wrote The Terminator. Dope. I'm a big Matrix fan. I was a Matrix fan before I knew she was the author. I didn't even know she was the author in 2002 and 3 and all that. I just thought I knew the movie was dope because it was a conscious movie. It just people don't watch it. Now that I know what it is, I have to do, especially when you look at the scene, Walter Mosley, he is my favorite. All right, I'm about to check him out, Walter Mosley. But look, I'm gonna tell you this. When you watch The Matrix Reloaded, when Neo goes to see the Oracle, she's using the power of suggestion. Even in part 1, when he went to see the Oracle, she said, "I would tell you not to worry about the vase, but that's something else." And then he's like, "What vase?" Boom. Then he knocked it over. "I told you don't worry about it." Power of suggestion. Just like, "Hey, don't knock that over." What? Boom. Somebody knocked that over. See, they had a whole lot of hidden shit in there, which was dope. Just like when the second time when he met with the Oracle, he just was like, "I felt like sitting." I felt like standing. And she was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. You want a piece of candy?" No. And then that's when he started to figure, "Oh, well, you're a part of the machine world. You're another form of control." Yeah. It's just like your black Christians. Most black churches, they're not going to talk about financial stability, and they're not going to talk about black empowerment. Some black churches are, if they're not a 501c3 that was invented by the Rockefeller Foundation. Oh, yeah. The same person that Spelman was named after. His wife. Yeah. So that's why in the second scene when she was like, "Oh, you want to get to the source. And to get to the source, we can only do it together. But you're going to need the key maker," which of course is the Chinaman, the Asian man. And they're like, "Well, how do we get to the key maker? He's being held by a very dangerous man, one of the eldest of us all. And he will not let him go willingly." Well, what does he want? She said, what do all men with power want? more power. The Merovingian. And that is a real dynasty. That's not fake. That's not some shit that they just made up. The Merovingians were the Franks. The Frenchmen. That's why when they went to go see him, he was speaking in French. And that didn't make sense to me. I just thought it was a movie. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it was a movie. But when I'm hearing other people talk about it, they're like, yeah, man, the Merovingians is a dynasty. You know, you go back and you look it up. You're like, oh, shit, let me read this book. Oh, shit. They were a dynasty. The Merovingians. And I read one book about them. It was the hagiography of the Merovingians. And basically, the hagiographer was basically, like I said before, a note taker in this book. And they just took notes and basically told you, you know, basically from his perspective, what a Merovingian is, a Frank. They were also known as the Saints, and they were supposedly motherfuckers that were performing miracles and shit, when really they wasn't. And their hair had to be a certain way, and it all makes sense when you watch The Matrix. Like, oh, okay, this dude is a real dude. He's like royalty in The Matrix, and that's what they were. Let me see, Walter Mosley. Hold on, let me go to Amazon, because I got so many books in my Amazon card that I gotta get. I was slipping for a minute, but now I gotta get some. Okay, let's see, Walter. Hold on, I'm doing this. Walter. There we go. Walter Mosley. Boom. Man, okay, no, that's not Walter. There. Blood Grove by Walter Mosley. The awkward black man. Here we go. I'll save it to my cart. Boom. Yeah, because I got a whole bunch of shit that I'm looking at. But man, yeah, man, I think it's very imperative that man work for this man. And see, they didn't really want to go in, because I'm pretty sure black folk are used to dealing with racism, white supremacy all the time. So he probably brushed it off. But I'm pretty sure that man probably made a decent wage and probably felt like, I'll just put up with this shit, because that's what we do. And the dominant society, y'all know this. And I'm tired of dominant society motherfuckers acting like, well, I don't benefit from slavery. Man, stop. What the fuck you mean, man? You're white. Stop. We're not gonna get treated the same way as a black person. You're not gonna get redlined. You're not gonna get gentrified like black folk do. Stop acting. And I'm tired of black. Look, if you deal with anybody part of the dominant society and they start acting dumb like they don't know, refer them to some books. Don't even go out of your way to explain it to them, because arguing with people and trying to explain it to people, all it's gonna do is just make you irritated. I don't do that no more. I just be like, hey man, you don't believe in racism, white supremacy? No, you should read this book called White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. When they like, well, we brought you guys here. No, technically that's not true. What do you mean? You should read They Came Before Columbus by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. That'll tell you all you need to know. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, these are things that we need to understand and we need to work on. I work on them every day. That's why I always, attribute it to the Core Plantation. Shout out to my boy No Compromise too. That's my brother right there. I feel like a lot of the times, man, we have drinking and taken the blue pill smoothie so many times, we don't even know we in the Matrix. You know what I mean? And it ain't nothing wrong with like having nice stuff and liking nice things and shit like that. Ain't nothing wrong with none of that. I'm just saying, understand what it is. Don't make it your God, but acknowledge it and be proud of yourself that you were able to obtain these accoutrements or gifts or toys or whatever it is. But at the same token, let's not judge each other based off of what a person has. What's going on, Erica? What's going on, sis? Shit. You know me, just here maintaining. Let's not do that. And the reason why I say let's not do that, because that shows a sign of, I would say, insecurity sometimes, because we base it based off, sometimes we'll base how we deal with people off of what they have. And we don't base it off of where they're going or what they're trying to do, or, you know what I mean? Like me, a lot of people be shocked. I could just use me as an example. A lot of people be shocked, man, because I'd be like, look, man, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I like to read, and I don't just go off of the news and all that, man. You got to do a little bit of reading and studying too. That's why the books are there. It shouldn't just be, well, I just go off the news. Now, some people are good at going off their instincts and going off life. But for me, I can go off my instincts, but there's more for me to learn, because a lot of the times I feel like when you grow up a certain way, you socialize a certain way, you don't know how to deal. You're not armed with the tools to defeat and eradicate the system of racism, white supremacy, and establish a system of justice. And what I mean by that, I mean this. I mean slow to speak and eager to hear. Start every conversation with a question. Don't get emotional. Don't tell your personal business. Don't go out of your way, in my personal opinion, to try to make somebody feel comfortable around you if you're not doing anything but staying in your lane and handling business. See, a lot of the times we get on the Core Plantation, we go out of our way like grandmother's hands. It talks about that, how we will go out of our way to make them feel comfortable around us when they've been proven to be the most volatile people in this country, on this landmass. When they were lynching people and hanging people, did y'all see those pictures of all those white people standing around cheering as they hang a nigga? Stop. Motherfuckers act like that was 800 years ago. No, that was not. So I'm just telling you right now, you know, okay, because don't you, I'm so proud of you. Hey, man, appreciate it. Hey, man, we just got to move forward. We got to be on the same page. We got to recycle our black dollars. We have to read books like Dr. Claude Anderson's Black Labor, White Wealth. Any black person I meet, and I ask them, have you read Black Labor, White Wealth by Dr. Claude Anderson? And they'll be like, no. I'm like, you need to read that book, bro. You need to really, really read that book. That is the cheat code for racism and white supremacy. And then if you want more context, you would read Powernomics. And then if you want more context, you would read A Compensatory Counter-Racist Code of Ethics by Neely Fuller Jr., or you would read Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy, or you'd read The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, or you'd read Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington, or you would read The Negro Project. You'd read that book. There's so many books that you could read. You would read The Burglary, The Discovery of J. Edgar Hoover's Secret FBI. I just call it The Burglary. You read that book. That's what I'm saying. You read those books and you keep studying and moving the needle forward to make sure whoever you around, they understand what you on. I'm not saying you're supposed to preach that shit every 5 minutes, because I don't do that shit every 5 minutes. That shit is exhausting. But with your family and the people that you fuck with on some real shit, you just talk to them about it. Don't argue them down. Just always reference a book. Don't just get to running your mouth. Because when you get to running your mouth, people sometimes be like, oh, here we go, nigga, think you know. Say, hey, man, I always reference a book of where I got shit from. I always reference like, hey, man, you know, the ISIS Papers, The Gun, The Great Equalizer. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, she talks about that. The little cigarette and the cigar. You know how they celebrate. The cigar is big and black, like a dick, like a penis. And that's what men smoke when they celebrate an accomplishment. She was breaking that shit down. The Matador and the Black Bull. Look that up. Read Dr. Frances Cress Welsing's The ISIS Papers. Read that, how she talks about it's in their DNA and how they dominate 9 areas of people activity, like Neely Fuller Jr. talks about. They do. And if you listen to Dr. Claude Anderson, he says the same shit. They dominate it's all the nation's wealth is held in the hands of the dominant white society. So you competing for 1.5% of some shit, he said, and you ain't gonna get that. And I like what he said about billionaires. Yeah, I'm asking more of a billionaire to help your own people. And stop acting like you ain't gotta help your own people. But hey, man, that's my time. I already went over 5 minutes again. But hey, y'all know what it is. You know what it ain't. Erica, Shawnee, Miss Wendy, everybody that's out there that's handling business, I fuck with y'all heavy. You know what it is. You know what it ain't. Hey, I see you on Sunday for Sunday school. Hey, man, I'll holler at y'all, man. And if a nigga's out here talking about, well, maybe that dude Matt did something to that white man to make him bury him in the subject tank. You a Sam Okun, mammy, tell him about the gun line, Haywood Shepherd, Steve from Django, and I don't fuck with you. And you already know what my saying is. Guilty, nigga. I don't fuck with you. I'm out. Peace.